Jean Burghausen is here with me today, and I feel very fortunate. It's nice to show the wide spectrum of jobs and careers and work that one can do in Germany with German. Jean is an opera singer, professional in Germany.
I am.
Yes. How long have you been in Leipzig now?
I have been living in Leipzig, Saxony, Germany since 2008. And prior to that, I lived 1 year in Augsburg, which is in Bavaria. I believe. Where is it in Schwaben? No, Bavaria, yes.
Yes, that's, as a professional singer, that's amazing. Did you study fine arts?
I did. I have a voice degree from the University of Arizona, my bachelor's. Then I have a master's in voice as well from the University of Michigan, and I did various apprenticeships and internships afterwards at some companies in the United States, and I also studied at the Manhattan School of Music in New York for 1 semester. And throughout all of that, I was required to take language classes in Italian, French, and German, as well as diction, which is specifically how one speaks and sings, moreover, in those languages.
How did you make the jump to Germany? Did you audition specifically for Augsburg?
Well, in Germany, or in German-speaking Europe, there is a tradition that most towns, even very small ones, have a theater. So there are many more opportunities to work full-time in a theater, whether you're an actor, an opera singer, or a dancer, a ballet dancer. For instance, in Leipzig, we have a ballet company, a theater company, and a company that specializes in operetta, which is like the musicals, well, kind of Germany. And there are as many opera houses in Germany as there are in the United States. So if you imagine, per capita, that means there are a lot of opportunities in a relatively small area. And also because I wanted to sing full-time and really work on my craft full-time rather than having occasional gigs and then in between working in a restaurant or working in an office. It was a way to work in this creative profession without having to have a job on the side, so I thought I really would like to secure that. And so I went to Germany and did a bunch of auditions for agents, and some of the agents liked me and then sent me to houses.
It really sounds like when it comes to artistic pursuits, Germany offers probably more opportunities than the U.S.
Most definitely, because it's a huge tradition there to support the arts and to nurture the arts. And also, what I find cool there is that unlike in many cities in the U.S., quite a few people are not familiar, with what is an opera or what is a symphony, depending upon what they've been exposed to. And in Germany, my experience has been, even though I meet a lot of people who don't necessarily care for opera, almost everyone has been to one and they all know what it is. Mm. So the public awareness also and of what I do is far broader there.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell us, please, a bit about the people in your company, the people you work with?
Well, in Leipzig, it's very interesting because Leipzig is in the former GDR. So before the wall fell, of course, when people got a job in the opera, that was their job for life. Mm. And so we still have some soloists that have been there since that time, and of course are still working there. They're wonderful people, wonderful singers. But they have a very different experience also as far as their exposure to other languages, because during the GDR, all of the operas were performed in German, and now we're performing in German, Italian, French, sometimes Russian. We did an opera in Czech. So, that's been an adjustment for them, but I also think that they find it really interesting how international the house is now, because we have colleagues from Sweden, from Finland, from the Ukraine, Russia, Italy. We have had a lot of guests actually coming from Italy. There are many Americans there.
How tolerant and how adaptable you have to be, really, to deal with people from so many different backgrounds.
Yes, and they do that very well
in
their place of work.
As far as you can tell, from your perspective, other than sheer talent, what are employers looking for in your field?
I would definitely say for working in Germany, you do not have to be fluent in the language, but you have to be able to rehearse and do all of your everyday stuff in German or pick it up pretty fast. I actually was not secure with my German ability when I moved to Germany, but you just living there and being immersed in it, you learn it really fast. I would say ability to take direction and implement what they want quickly. Multitasking is very important, and I would say being very open-minded and being, sounds strange, but pleasant to be around. I think that's pretty important. Creating a good work environment.
Sure.
I think it has a high priority. Nobody wants to deal with big divas. Unless you really are the most famous person in the world, and then maybe you can act like that.
I wanted to give you the opportunity to do a little public relations. If you could tell our audience some of the nice roles you've had.
Well, I have had the opportunity to sing many amazing parts, both in Augsburg and in Leipzig. One of my favorite composers is Mozart, and I did sing Dorabella in Così fan tutte, as well as Donna Elvira in Don Giovanni, which was a big challenge for me and something that I found suited me very well. I have sung a lot in German, so Hänsel and Hänsel and Gretel, and then it's been very interesting. I've had small parts in a lot of the Wagner operas, which is quite an experience. From the size of the orchestra to how passionate the public there is about Wagner to how the language is used. That is some very complicated German that every time I hear it or read it, I notice new things. It's very poetic and interesting. Most recently, I sang Octavian in Der Rosenkavalier, which is the lead role in that piece by Strauss, and that was a wonderful challenge, and I'm very glad that I was already living in Germany for 7 years before I sang it.